The Wall Street Journal is reporting now that according to mediators, and despite what Trump has said, Iran has not requested a 10-day pause on strikes on its energy plans. So, Cenk, we're getting a lot of conflicting information from Donald Trump, and that he'll say something and then Iran will say something entirely different. What are we to do? How do we possibly know what's going on here?
No, it's super clear. So you see Trump saying the usual nonsense. And at this point, if you still believe that Trump would never lie, there's nothing I could tell you that's gonna change your mind about anything. I'm not sure you even have a mind to change, right? I mean, if you can't tell that this guy is the biggest pathological liar we've ever seen, I can't help you at all, right? So, but okay, that's point one. Point two is the Iranians are on tape constantly saying, we do not want to negotiate. We're not interested in it. Every time we send in negotiators, you kill them or try to kill them and use it as a delaying tactic and then do a surprise bomb on us. We already know it's not a surprise. We know you're gonna hit us again and again. And these are fake negotiations, so we are not showing up, right? It is not unclear. The only thing that has happened, and Trump himself has referred to it as, is that they said, we will look at an offer you have. Are we not merciful? And Trump says, yeah, they're begging us for peace. No, I think you're begging them. And they're like, all right, bro, send it. I guess we'll look at it.
Yeah, the king of spin over here. Yeah, like everything that he says, you have to assume that like even if there is a tiny grain of truth in there, it is tiny, all right? So here is what Trump posted to Truth Social yesterday. These are his words. He says, as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they are going very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right, so he says all of this is happening as per the request of the Iranian government. However, Iran says that they have made no such request. This confirms earlier reports from Jeremy Scahill at Dropsite News. Scahill responded to Trump's post saying this. He said, I asked a senior Iranian official about Trump's claim Iran requested an extension on Trump's threat to bomb energy infrastructure. Trump is not being truthful. We have not submitted any request regarding potential US attacks, the official said. All right, and I mean, that sounds pretty clear to me. The most they've done is express interest in negotiations, express interest in it, right? But they haven't fully responded to the 15-point peace plan from the Trump administration. And the peace plan is interesting because it basically states that the US will release Iran of crippling sanctions in exchange for concessions made to its nuclear and missile program. Does this sound familiar? Because I'll be damned if this isn't exactly Iran's nuclear deal all over again, the same one that Trump said was terrible and we needed to pull out of immediately. It was released from sanctions in exchange for the nuclear concessions. Except this time, it's not gonna go as well as it did with the Obama administration. Iran is less willing now to give up its uranium enrichment and nuclear facilities. So according to the journal, the odds of achieving a successful ceasefire at this point are very low. And it shouldn't be surprising considering just days ago, Iran used Trump's own rhetoric against him, which is kind of funny. Trump again tried to claim that Iran was willing to work with him, citing good and productive conversations. But Iran responded this way. They said Iran immediately dismissed his claims. And they said fake news is intended to manipulate financial and oil markets and to escape the quagmire in which America and Israel are trapped. And that's from the Speaker of Iran's parliament, and they posted it to X. Also, a senior Iranian official confirmed to Dropsite that no new developments have occurred between Washington and Tehran. The official was not authorized to make public statements and spoke on condition of anonymity. The US has continued to send messages through third countries, he said, but Iran has only reiterated its position and has not engaged in any back and forth. There aren't any negotiations taking place. The Iranian side has simply communicated its conditions to them, and even that has been done indirectly, the official said. So again, a lot of back and forth, and it does seem, Cenk, and you can disagree with me if you want, but it does seem like the Iranians are acting and speaking in such a way where they know that they have a lot more leverage than Trump does. And they're kind of just spelling it out too for the people who don't quite get it. He says, this is why Trump is doing what he's doing. This is why he keeps saying what he's saying. This is why he keeps pretending like we're in negotiations when we're not, because he's trying to juice the market so that things aren't quite as bad as they actually are. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Before the war, we didn't know if Iran really could close the Strait of Hormuz. And so we had a sense of how much damage it would do if they closed the Strait of Hormuz. It's a whole different ballgame when they take out 20 ships trying to pass the strait, and they effectively close it down, and oil goes to $110 per barrel. Then the whole world, including Iran, realizes, oh, Iran's got a lot more leverage, right? So now they're like, okay, you thought you were gonna wipe us out. Your military was so much stronger. We weren't gonna be able to resist you, and that we were gonna surrender immediately. Well, that's not what happened. Yeah, their Air Force and their Navy got wiped out, but they still have weapons, they still have drones and missiles, and they're still closing the Strait of Hormuz. So they logically say, well, the game has shifted. Now we have way more leverage. Why would we even take the Obama deal? Now, the Obama deal that they did, you're absolutely right, is exactly the deal now or almost exactly the deal that Trump's offering now in a panic, the one he got out of 10 years ago and caused all these problems in the first place, right? So now Iran is saying, well, we did that deal because we didn't want you to attack us, but you already attacked us twice. And you've already killed our leaders, and you've already destroyed all of these things in Iran. So why would we go back into a deal that takes away our leverage? So now we're in trouble because we can't even get out of this damn war, which is exactly what the Israelis knew. They knew that if we got in, it would be a quagmire and we couldn't get out. And that's what they wanted, so that we send in ground troops, have them die, but spend long enough to be able to capture the regime itself and put in Israel's puppet. So this is a disaster of Israel's making and Donald Trump's making. And now the Iranians have the leverage. So I don't know what's gonna happen when we put the ground troops in terms of the leverage. Are we going to be able to open up the Strait of Hormuz or not? But I do know that it's gonna cost us a lot of good men and women doing that. And we had no business doing this in the first place. And we never should have gotten out of that Obama deal. And by the way, if you watch the Young Turks, we criticize Obama on a lot of things. But on that deal, we said that is a great deal and one of the best he's ever done. It totally ended Iran's nuclear weapons program. Totally ended it. They would send out the uranium outside their country. We had it on lockdown, but it didn't satisfy Israel. They were furious with Obama. They spent enough money buying our politicians until they got politicians who would do what Israel commanded, and that's why we're in the middle of this mess.
Yeah, that was the first thing that Trump did when he got into office was he pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, very much so because Iran didn't like the deal. I'm sorry, Israel didn't like the deal. And they said, this doesn't work for us. We're losing our leverage with all of this. So we need to pull out of it, and here we are again today. I also think that people don't always realize the geo part of the geopolitical landscape that we're talking about here whenever we talk about putting ground troops in Iran. And I'm no like military strategist or anything like that, but I look at maps a lot, like I do that, And so Iran is on the other side of Saudi Arabia, which is supposedly our ally, and Iran is huge, okay? I don't know if Americans like understand that all the time, like it's bigger than Turkey. It's what, like twice as big as Afghanistan? And not only that, but it is like surrounded by these impassable mountains on like 2 out of 4 of its sides, okay? Like this is, it's going to be a nightmare trying to send American troops into this landscape. This is landscape that even the locals can't really mess with, okay? That's how dangerous and treacherous that those mountain terrains are. So it's not gonna be good. I don't know what plan they have, and it doesn't seem the way that Trump is talking about things that he has a plan, especially since, he does press conferences and he talks about his Sharpie for 5 minutes, like his golden Sharpie or something. Like that's what we're dealing with here, and we're going to send these kids into a war zone, and they're going to be completely ill-equipped to handle the terrain there.
Yeah, last 2 quick things to back up what you're saying. Iran is 4 times the size of Iraq, and we couldn't get Iraq under control. And last piece of leverage for the Iranians is time. So they're like, well, this is our home. We'll defend it for as long as it takes, 100 years, hundreds of years. We're not leaving, this is our home. We're gonna fight forever if you want to, okay? Whereas 6 months, I mean, we can barely stand 1 month of oil around $100. 6 months of oil at $100 to $150 per barrel, we won't make it. Our economy won't make it. The entire global economy won't make it. So they have time on their side. They have geography on their side. Hey, but good news, we have Israel on our side who pays for nothing. He doesn't use their troops at all and says that America should do it on its own, even though it only hurts us. And the only potential beneficiaries are Israel. And why are they beneficiaries? Because they would then neuter everyone in the Middle East and they would all be defenseless as Israel acquired more territory. But Cenk, are they really gonna acquire more territory? They're getting southern Lebanon as we speak. They're entering southern Lebanon to take more territory while we're all distracted dying on their behalf in Iran. This is a disaster. We have to leave immediately. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.